Something a little different today. I was digitizing some black and white photos of an old family album when I remembered I have boxes of slides. Tried to digitize some of those. I projected them behind me here on the side of this chest freezer and took pictures of them with a little Canon Sure Shot. And they came out a little fuzzy, but they're usable. So I thought today I would give you a little taste of our trip in 1981 when we bought a $450 1968 Travelall, packed up the family and headed to Alaska. There's the Travelall there. We named her Estelle. We were such kids then, and of course our kids were kids. Lucas was 12, Susanna 4. Our first day on the road got us to the Canadian border. We camped shortly after that in a little town called Arnprior. It was our first family camping attempt, and we had a van load of stuff we tried to organize as we went along. We headed west through Canada, then re-entered the United States at Sault Ste. Marie, and headed down the western shore of Lake Michigan toward a rendezvous with old friends in Madison, Wisconsin. We spent a few days visiting in Madison, swimming in the lake and enjoying sleeping in a bed for a few nights. As we proceeded west, camping became routine. Drive all day, set up camp, cook supper, go to bed, do it all again the next day. I had previously traveled from New England to Wyoming to California, but Annie had never been west of Niagara Falls, New York. Crossing the Mississippi River introduced her to a whole new world. The Big Muddy was just a place for Susan to sit in the sun and pick tickle grass. On into South Dakota, the Badlands and the Black Hills. We were finally getting into the foothills of the Rockies. In Big Timber, Montana, just before beginning our climb to the Continental Divide, Lucas found a pond full of stock trout at the campground. We turned north at Coeur d'Alene and began our sojourn through the Canadian Rockies. Here the scenery left us gobsmacked. North and west through Alberta and British Columbia, we finally entered Yukon Territory and the beginning of the Alaska Highway. Built during World War II, most of the Alcan was still gravel in 1981. Notice the hardware cloth screen Estelle is wearing to keep the rocks from breaking the windshield. We hit the Yukon River. It flows all the way to Nome, Alaska. We crossed into Alaska at 7:30 Yukon time, June 18th, 1981. Alaska was booming, and rents were hard to find in Anchorage. We lived in a municipal campground for about 6 weeks. Annie got stuck in the rain with the kids while I was going to work in a nice dry house. We finally found a house to rent that we originally shared with 2 other families that we met in the campground. And the rest, as they say, is history.